All right, man. It's been a couple weeks since we've done one of these, but we've been busy. We've been busy doing some good stuff, figuring stuff out content wise, and been visiting people in person. But anything new over the past couple weeks? Been doing stuff at home.
Man, yeah, just some home renovation stuff. Still working on a patio. I need to finish that up. I think I'm gonna finish it up tomorrow, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous because if it doesn't go well, like I just screwed it up and wasted a bunch of money. So I just need to lay down sand, put the pavers on top.
You're doing the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You cut the wood and everything.
I didn't. It's not deck. Wait,
Oh,
you mean?
oh.
No, it's pavers like cinder block or concrete.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I dug out. I had to keep taking the dirt. You know the place on lake where you can take like waste. At the end of it, it was 10,000 pounds of dirt.
Damn. Damn.
And then refill it with gravel.
With a shovel?
Yep.
You dug all that shit out with a shovel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bad idea to be honest. I should have just went with a deck, but I looked at the cost of decking boards and I was like,
A lot.
yeah, I was like, I'm not spending. I just do a paver patio, but it's just a lot of fucking digging.
Yeah.
Anyway, so got finished that. Just finished flooring, putting in flooring, pretty much the whole downstairs except for the kitchen.
Did like the synthetic flooring or what's it called? Not synthetic.
LVP, laminate.
Oh,
no,
vinyl.
luxury vinyl plank. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is it's good. I like it. I'm happy with how it went.
Had carpet before?
Yeah.
Had to tear the carpet up.
Yeah, that's not the biggest pain was moving all the furniture out of the way.
Yeah.
It's the dining room and the living room.
Yeah.
And I did it when the girls were out of town.
Yeah.
And so I'm just thinking I can knock it out in a weekend. Rip everything up. You got to cut up all the carpet, throw that away, and then move all the furniture first, upstairs, in the kitchen, in the garage. Then do that. You got to level out the floor. You got to get rid of all the carpet tacks. It's just a lot of crap.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to lay down like a underlayment. It's a moisture barrier from the concrete. Then start laying down flooring. I got all of the dining room done. I got to the stairs like as soon as you walk in the house, and then started to run into some like cutting technical issues. And so it's like, well, Katia, you're gonna have done flooring for now. So, but that's done. But we're talking about putting like a built-in like bookcase in the corner.
Okay.
And so it's like, all right, so I haven't even moved all the furniture back in, haven't moved, yeah, so I still got to do the, what's it called?
Not siding, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, brain fart, but still got to do that. Yeah, that's been that. Summer's over.
Yep.
That's when my life will actually slow down.
Yeah.
While like you, obviously Acadia, everyone else's life picks back up. T-Free, BP, everyone's life gets busy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's been me over the summer.
Home renovations, man.
It's fun though. It's fun to have like a task and like
especially when you
work
finish
on
it,
Yeah.
and to know that all the work that went into it,
I was explaining it as like hiking, like climbing, walking up a mountain, like walking up an incline. It's not necessarily fun. Like you're gonna be out of breath, you're gonna be tired. Like how much further we gotta go? Like dang, we gotta come back down from here. Like, man, it's been how long? Like, it's tiring. It's not exactly fun.
Yeah.
But then you get up there and it's like this view.
Yeah.
And like the effort to walk instead of just like there's shuttle services depending on where you're at. There's different ways to do it with no effort.
Yeah.
But it's not as rewarding.
Yeah.
And same thing I think with like actually doing the stuff yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, man, this is rewarding to like know the effort that went into this.
Yeah. That's a good analogy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. That's good, man. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I've been doing, man. Like you said, summer's finishing up. We had a good summer. Kids did a good job. Worked hard. We had majority of people pass the run test at the end of last week, which was good. A lot of the kids, I think we had 6 or 7 that failed that came back on Friday, and I think the majority of them passed it as well. So it's always good to see the, you know, my favorite, probably my favorite part of the job is actually watching the kids compete, especially after putting in all of the, the behind the scenes work that really nobody sees. So it's getting to that point where it's like, yeah, I mean, a lot of those sports teams, a lot of the athletes have been working for months now, and are going to finally be able to compete here in a couple weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. Just looking forward to the school year getting started. To be a little bit different with Coach Congan gone. We talked about that a little bit, but I'm looking forward to just getting back into the routine of things in the school year, and seeing what the classes look like. And it seems like each year our classes get a little bit better, just in the sense of, I think a lot of it is just consistency from us in terms of what our standards are and what we expect and things like that. And it's to the point, this will be my 5th year now at Snyder, so it's
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's to the point where it's like, yeah, we've kind of, the upperclassmen that will be in class understand what the class is about and what it's not, and that helps us a ton, where it's, put some responsibility on them to be leaders and good examples for the young kids. And we'll have some freshmen in class, which is we did that last year as well, but framing that as like, yeah, this is it's a privilege to be in this class as a freshman, and got to make it through the whole summer as a freshman to get in class. So just looking forward. We've got a good freshman class coming in, good kids, listen well, good athletes. And so looking forward to the school year starting. Just over the summer, just been working, man, putting a lot of time into this stuff, and figuring out kind of the best way to do things. I've been playing FIFA lately. Bro,
yeah, I heard you last weekend said you got back into some games.
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit. And I'll go through, phases where, 5-6 months I won't play anything. And I'm like, you know what? Let me hop back on the game, and yeah, I've been playing FIFA lately. I've been getting nice, man. But yesterday, bro, I had a heartbreak, bro. I was playing FIFA, man, because this is what I'll do, right? So I'll play a warm-up game, where it's just me and the computer, And I've been playing, when you first start, they play like an evaluation game where it's like, okay, and they'll tell you what difficulty to play on. So I think at first I started playing on like semi-pro, I think, which I haven't really played FIFA really ever.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, this ain't too bad. But I started getting, just blowing teams out. So I bumped it up to the next level of difficulty. I think it's like professional, right? So semi-pro to pro. Yeah, that makes sense. So I've been playing that. And at first the computer would get me, but I've been getting better. I've been getting better, and so I've been figuring that out. And I'm like, you know what? Let me play a few online games. And I had played like 1 or 2 when I first got the game like a month ago, and practiced a little bit, got better. So yesterday I got on, played a little warm-up game, was feeling pretty good. Played an online game, and these dudes online, bro, these motherfuckers are good, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really good. Majority of the time I can hang with them. And yesterday, man, I was playing this guy. I think he scored first. Bro, I ended up scoring 2 goals off of penalty kicks. Okay. He kept fouling me in the box, right? And I'm like, hey, man, like, keep fouling me. I'm going to take whatever I can get. So I ended up scoring. I think the first goal I scored was off of PK. The second goal I scored was like a true goal. The third goal I scored was off of PK, I'm pretty sure. And then I think I scored again. So it was 4-1. It was 4-1 at this point, okay? And I'm playing, and I'm like, bro, like, I'm straight. I got this in the bag. There's like, I don't know, we're 50, 60 minutes into the game, and I'm like, yeah, bro, like, this is cool. And so there's like a little setting on the game where you can like control like different tactics or different like game plans. So I'm like, I've never done this before, but I was changing it around, seeing what's going on, and I changed it so they have like different like schemes that you can play, and one of them was called Park the Bus.
Okay.
And so I took that as like kind of like a, like a defense, like we got the game in the bag.
Yeah.
So I went to that, bro, hit that. I don't know what it is, but these motherfuckers, bro, unless I was controlling the player, like the defenders were literally just standing there letting this dude just blow right past him, bro. So I'm like, bro, long story short, dude ended up coming back, beating me. Bro, I think we had like 2 minutes extra time at the end of the game. And that, the game, that's obviously
Mm-hmm.
sped up, so that's probably 30 seconds. This motherfucker scores the winning goal in the last 10 seconds of the game, and I'm like, bro, and it just hurt my heart. And then I played a second one, and I don't want to talk about that one either. So, yeah.
I feel like after that game,
Yeah.
like playing a second game, you're almost setting yourself up to like shut off the game mid-game, throw the controller. It's one of those I feel like you're setting yourself up for.
Yeah, I definitely quit in the second game.
See, I could just feel it.
I definitely quit. But dude, the second dude I played was even better than the first guy, bro. But I was like, I can't go out. I can't go out like that. So I'm like, man, I was shitty as hell, just sitting there waiting for the second game to load up. I'm like, bro, I gotta play a second one, And you can tell right away how good someone is, like they get the ball and they start fucking doing all these moves and dribbling around and shit. And I'm like, bro, yeah, I really don't like quitting games, even if it's just a game. I really don't like quitting like on anything. But it gets to a certain point, I think. Hey,
we don't gotta talk about it.
He was better than me. But that first guy should have beat. First guy was better than me too,
Yeah.
He really was. But I was hanging with him, and I just couldn't finish it, man.
Learning experience.
Yeah. So, anyways, been playing FIFA. It's been breaking my heart. But other than that, man, just getting ready for the school year and got a dog.
I was waiting. I was like, have you mentioned on here that you got a dog?
Yep, got a dog, Big Miles. Big Miles with the smiles. That's what I call him. So he's I've had him now for I don't know, 5-6 weeks or so.
How old is Miles?
He's 10 months, 11 months. No, he's damn near 11 months. They said his birthday is the 1st of September, so he's almost at a year. So he's been doing well, man. He's been doing good. We had a few learning experiences in the first couple weeks, and we're still learning. But he does a good job listening for the most part, unless he gets overstimulated. And I got him one of those like collars that like there's a beep to it, there's a vibrate setting, or there's a shock setting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, man. My dad got one for one of his older dogs, and worked really well. So I bought one, and he's been doing okay with it. But like sometimes he'll just get too turned up, where it's like he doesn't really matter. Like I haven't shocked him yet, but I'll do the beep because he likes eating shit. I think it's a puppy thing. But he likes eating shit, not his own shit, but he'll find stuff out in the yard. So whenever he goes over and starts sniffing around, I hit him with the beep, and he'll like kind of look up a little bit. It's a little different for him. And I was playing around with the collar, and I like wanted to feel, what the vibrate, what the shock felt like. So the vibrate's, what you would expect. It's nothing crazy.
Like a cell phone.
Yeah. And it gets, you can get it up there. It's got, I don't know how many different settings. It's got a lot of settings. The shock one has like 1 through 40 settings, right?
40?
40. And so I'm looking at it, and I'm like, bro, I'm really don't want to use, unless it's something crazy, unless he's like running towards a busy ass street or something, where I gotta really like sit his ass down. But anyways, I'm like, yeah, let me feel what this feels like. So it's like, I think it's 40 settings. I was on 2. I got to 2 before I was like, ooh, bro, like I can't.
Really?
Yes, it was like, because I remember playing with my dad's, like the collar that he had, and like we were like, bro, it didn't have that many settings, but we were like more than halfway, and it was still like, yeah, you can feel it a little bit, but it's nothing crazy. I was literally at 2, and I just had both prongs like in my finger, and like I did it, and I like had to drop it. I'm like, bro, like feel it through my full arm, and I'm like,
I wonder if it's different for a dog with all the fur, with all the
it might
hair,
be.
But still, that's kind of intense.
It might be, yeah. So yeah, I got a dog this summer, which is good. I'm a big animal guy, so.
What's Miles' backstory?
So Miles,
From the how'd you get Miles and backstory?
Yeah, so I got him through rescue in Fort Wayne. It's called Wags and Wiggles, which they were great to work with. Okay, if anybody's in Fort Wayne looking for a dog, they were awesome. But they said they found him in the middle of a highway with another older dog. The older dog, I think one of the volunteers at the rescue like adopted him, and then they said they felt like Miles would have a better chance of being adopted because he was younger, But he was there. I don't know exactly how long he was in the rescue, but at least for a couple months,
Dang, okay.
And which is surprising to me. Like he's He's a good-looking dog. He's a pit bull mix, which might be,
That scares people.
yeah, it definitely scares
Scares
people,
people.
which is crazy because, I mean, I understand it, but also, like, I mean, he's such a lover, you know, like, he just, within the first 10 minutes, he climbed up into my lap and just laid on me, you
Yeah.
know, like, super social. He loves other people. He loves other dogs. But I think that does scare people. So,
For sure.
yeah, I mean, he's got really cool eyes, got like green eyes, you know, like he's got like brown fur. So like, he's got those like pit bull eyes that almost kind of look human.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of his backstory. I mean, kind of crazy because, Berkeley, my previous dog, I don't really know his story other than that he came in as a stray from like Southern California. And, you remember how Berkeley was. Like, Berkeley was very timid, just, in general. And, Miles like had obviously some trauma like earlier in life, like being dumped in the middle of a highway, as a puppy is, I can imagine, probably pretty traumatic. But I mean, he's a happy-go-lucky dog. He's positive, just super excited about the smallest shit. And yeah, it's been good, man. It's been good because I haven't had a dog for I think over 2 years now. But it's been good just to have like a puppy presence in my life, just kind of keep me on my toes,
Yeah.
So.
Man, because Burke was a good one.
He was.
Big Burke.
Berkeley was a great dog, man. He really was. He was, yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah.
I see a decent amount of Burke and Miles too, and a lot of it's probably just like dogs being dogs,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just funny. It's just kind of see the similarities between the two. But other than that, that's really all that's been going on. Not too much. We figured today we'd talk about, we've been doing a lot of in-person episodes lately. And so we kind of wanted to recap kind of our experiences with the people that we have visited and learned from, and we'll just kind of go through the list of the people that we've done. So Zach Reinig we did first at Renegade Strength and Performance here in Fort Wayne. Zach's a good friend. Went to high school with Zach. We've known him for 15 years now.
Yeah. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, it really is. What did you think of the whole? Just going there, hanging out with him, learning from him, and
overall, like, first experience, that was my first time being at Renegade.
Okay.
So it was like, man, this is cool. And like, just talking with him, we talked an hour before we even started rolling, and then we talked maybe another 30 minutes afterwards. Just catching up with him, seeing how the gym's doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, like, him and, blanking on her name, Elizabeth
yeah,
Swigart, like that, put that gym together and like the best equipment,
yeah,
the best like calibrated place. If you're a Olympic lifter, power lifter, and probably even strongman competitor, like that is the place to go.
Yeah.
And just seeing how well they're doing, and we got a handful of friends, coworkers that go there, and it's like, this is awesome, just a fun environment. So it was cool to see the jiu-jitsu upstairs. Anyway, just it felt very that, and seeing videos of the place, like people lifting and just posting on their Instagram or the Renegade page. It's like, man, this feels like Zach.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to lift some weights, not just some weights. I'm going to be super strong. I'm going to do jiu-jitsu upstairs.
Yeah.
And he posted a video yesterday of him deadlifting, I forget how much, listening to Mariah Carey.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's like, bro, he's just a kid, So that was cool from a learning standpoint, because that's the whole purpose of doing this stuff is like really to go and steal, to go and learn. I did the bench and the deadlift. Obviously, I'm still there and asking questions for squat, but hearing him talk about the details of the bench press and really the setup. It was like how just the little tweaks on foot placement, from being on your toes to just go out a little bit, start on your toes, but then drive heels down. How he would position the bar, how your leg drive is supposed to be more back into the rack instead of just hips up. That's why I was always super toey, so my butt wouldn't actually leave the bench. And it's like, man, I never even thought about this.
Yeah.
And for each of these people, each of these things that we've learned about, it's like, oh, you're a specialist in this.
Yeah.
So of course you're going to know more than I do. I mean, we're generalists. As far as like working with athletes, I would say.
100%.
And it's like, oh, you're a specialist in squat, bench, deadlift.
Yeah.
So like, it was good to just learn some of that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I thought it was cool as well. I mean, it's always good being able to spend time with Zach, and it's just a fun guy. You know what I mean? But kind of like you said, just seeing where Renegade is at in terms of success level. Zach and I did jiu-jitsu together for a while. We haven't seen each other. He trains, obviously. I mean, as Matt's at his own gym now, so he does most of his training there. But I remember talking to him before he opened it, and then like early on in the opening aspect of it, just kind of how they had to pivot a little bit, at least initially, to do like online stuff and do more like group training and things like that. But it's just awesome to see how it's gotten to the point where it seems like they're doing really well. And I mean, you look at it, like opening up a gym in Fort Wayne, like is probably not the easiest thing to do. Like there's a handful of other established gyms here already. But I also think them being able to find their own like niche little, like you said, powerlifting, weightlifting, and probably strongman. Like in Fort Wayne, there's probably no better gym probably even outside of Fort Wayne. I don't have much experience outside of Fort Wayne in terms of gyms, but it's like, yeah, it's probably the best place to go for if you're serious about training one of those three things. And even if you're not, it's like, bro, like you said, you can't find better equipment than what they have in there, and it's all brand new. So just to see that was awesome, and just again to learn from him and to see kind of his thoughts on the three powerlifting movements. And you look at it from the outside perspective, it's like, yeah, like those movements aren't super complex, but they can be, to somebody that is super detail oriented and someone that has as much experience as he does in those movements. So it's just awesome those are three movements, at least two out of the three. We don't teach much straight bar deadlift, at least here, but two out of three are movements that we probably teach weekly, if not daily. And it's like he was still able to, throw things at us that that were new to me, and just thinking about things in different ways and different cues to maybe teach somebody that's struggling with, whatever movement it is. It was cool to see. Another really cool thing that I don't think we really talked to him much about, but to see how he's involved his family, like in the training aspect, especially his dad. I remember talking to him about that, early on. I can't remember if this was before or after they opened, but early on in that, his I forget exactly what happened. His dad had an injury, or
I think I could be wrong, but I think it was a heart attack.
Okay,
but I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
He had something happen, like health wise, that I think kind of influenced him to start, being active or more active, and what better place to do it other than your son's gym, But like his dad now like competes in powerlifting with him, and like is super strong. And so it's just obviously his brother's involved, with the whole gym thing. And, it's just awesome to see, that influence of, Zach as a kid to be able to have a positive influence on his parents, and, to give them a place to become healthier and live longer and all that stuff. I think that's truly probably the coolest thing, at least in my opinion. But it was just great to visit with him and learn from him. And, I mean, I think there's a ton of value in those videos that we have. I don't know, two or three of them. I think all three of them might be up now, I think, on YouTube.
Yes, all three are
up. But those are, we'll see if we can put like a link or something to those videos in this video. But I thought it was awesome. And for our first in-person episode, I think there's no better person to do it with, from someone that we're comfortable with. And it was just a good time, like, and just, is just a big kid, is what it seems like. So it was cool to hang out with him. After that, we went to Lindsay. You get some, I mean, you know Lindsay better than I do. You get some background on Lindsay and kind of what you thought.
Yeah, so I worked with Lindsay. I worked PSM at the field house, and she was there for, I don't know, a year-ish, give or take. I forget exactly how long. Good coach, I can say a lot of good things, but Lindsay's biggest impact at the field house was she is a strong female. She's a muscular, woman, and to see other girls come in, young middle school, high school athletes, and see Lindsay and see she's got quads and she has shoulders, and be like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Bro, it was awesome. Just the impact she had on the girls, really. She was a good coach. Every person in there respected her. She knew what she was talking about. She could break down any movement, like a lot of positive things. But that was the biggest one.
Yeah.
So Lindsay and I became really cool when we worked together. She now manages Mad Apple, which is a CrossFit gym, mainly a CrossFit gym in Fort Wayne. And she's a CrossFit competitor. I think she has said she's the most accomplished CrossFitter. I feel confident saying in Fort Wayne, but maybe in Indiana. So, pretty good.
Yeah.
That one also we show up, we hang out for a little bit beforehand, just talk to her. They got the dog there with 3 legs. It's just hanging out. Yep.
Yeah.
And then we're going through mainly gymnastics, CrossFit type movements. So we did rope climb, handstand, and muscle up. We haven't even talked about your experience with muscle up. I think that'll be interesting to hear about.
Yeah.
But rope climb, first one, for us, wasn't super difficult. There's some technical things with the feet. We both got some burns.
You still see mine.
Yeah, I still got a scab I've been picking at. And that was how many weeks ago?
Yeah.
That was fun. That was cool. Even before we got started, I'm looking at the rope pulley, the ropes on the ground. I'm like, man, how can I incorporate some rope type stuff? Not that I need to, but it'd be cool. And then handstand. For me, I want to be able to do a handstand. I want to be able to do a handstand and walk or do a handstand push-up. I think that'd be really cool. Just a way to kind of keep me motivated in training, not just here we go with bench day. It's no, what do I want to get better at? And her throwing in some new drills, because I can practice doing a handstand against the wall. I can practice trying to do a handstand hold for 2 seconds and fall. But her to give feedback on, your approach. I would just kind of roll into a handstand. She's like, as dumb as you might feel, start with your hands above your head, take a big step into it, don't just fold over, kind of reach for a spot, and then adding in some drills like the band on the rack. That's something I've played around with. You get instant feedback if you go in too hot, it just kind of throws you back out. It's a way to micro progress it, lowering the band or using a weaker, thinner band. So stuff like that was cool. My eye placement, when I'm doing the handstand, keep my feet together. It was just good to actually get coached.
Yeah.
So that was cool. That might be my biggest thing, but I am interested to hear about your muscle up experience.
Yeah. It was cool hanging out with Lindsay. She's obviously very good at what she does, and she has a lot of gymnastics experience as well, right?
Yes.
Started as a gymnast.
Yes.
So having that foundation, we talked about that in an earlier episode of what would you wish you would have trained, or what are you going to put your kids into? I think gymnastics is a really good one. And I think she's a good example of it. Just set the foundation for, a lot of different things that she's done physically. But, I like the handstand stuff. The band I had never seen, but it makes sense. Like you said, it makes sense. It gives you immediate feedback. And I've tried some, because I played around with handstands a little bit. I mean, I can't hold one or anything, but I've done some type of things in the past. But it's I've done some shoulder taps, and that shit is a lot harder than it looks, bro. Because when I remember even going through the videos, you asking her which one's easiest? Is it the side to side wall, or is it the wall walks, or is it the shoulder taps? You're shoulder taps probably, and she was yeah, probably wall facing shoulder taps are the easiest. And I'm bro, if those are the easiest, I don't even want to think, because again, it was the same thing. You lift one up and you're oh shit, all your body weight's on one shoulder. But I thought that was funny because it's that. She makes it look so easy where she's transferring her weight, tapping her shoulders. And
even on that, when she was showing me how to do some facing the wall facing handstand, I forget why, but she did a cartwheel into it. And I'm what? And so I've been practicing that since, but I'm just made it look so easy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Keep going.
Yeah, so that was cool. But yeah, getting into the muscle ups, it's like, yeah, man, like I think really what threw me off was fucking my hands up in the first 5 minutes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Are your hands still?
No, they're fine now.
Okay.
They're fine now. But I was like putting chalk on,
Yeah.
like and trying to do it right, and yeah, definitely got me. Because I do have like I sweat a good amount, and when I'm doing like a lot of grip stuff like that, my hands will get sweaty, and so trying to dry them off, putting chalk on, but it just wasn't enough. So that
You're calloused. You're gonna be really calloused right here. You're doing
Yeah.
Olympic lifts probably here, but not here.
Yeah, on the actual palm of it.
Yeah.
I don't really, ever get anything there. But anyways, that wasn't ideal, but it was still like a lot of, because again, it's another a muscle up is something that like, last year I worked on it for 2 months or so, just
Okay.
trying to look up different drills on YouTube, and I think it'd be cool to be able to do a muscle up, and so I've done some of that stuff. She gave us a lot of other stuff that I haven't done before, just small little details of, what should move first and where you should feel this, and, how much should be in your shoulders, and your legs are just there to kind of follow along and help you out. And it was cool to see, kind of like you're saying, it was good to be coached, you know what I mean? Like because it's easy enough to look up drills and do things, and try to do it on your own, especially as a coach. But like, I don't have any experience in doing any of that or teaching somebody how to do that. So just to have somebody that has an experienced, like eye and that stuff, and for me to be able to do a set when I was actually trying to get one, for her to like, oh, this is what you need to do different, and break this down. And yeah, it was just fun, man. It was a good experience, and something that I do need to go back there. I told her I would, because she's a big dog person as well. She's got two of her own, and so I told her I'd bring Miles out there. So I do need to go back out there sometime soon, bring Miles, and maybe work on trying to get a muscle up as well. But yeah, I mean, all in all, it was just a good experience. Just fun to hang out with her, and I mean, she's awesome. She's got a great attitude, and is very knowledgeable in strength conditioning, and I mean, like you said, is very successful in the CrossFit scene. And I mean, take one look at her to know that she's strong as shit. You know what I mean? So that was fun. It was good. I mean, those are things that those three movements, I feel like, at least me personally, I do a lot less of compared to like the three movements we did with Zach. So it's cool to just get kind of like a different perspective on movements that I don't normally do. And just try something new, and be challenged in that sense. So, anything else on Lindsay,
No, I think that does it.
Yeah. So that was a good experience. Next up, we went to go see Dr. Dom Schultz. Dom is a chiro, who you probably know better than I do as well, just with your experience at Lee's and things like that. So, what did you think of that?
Yeah. So, my first thought is like, dude, this guy, every time I'm with Dom, just talking, whatever, he doesn't really text that well. So when we communicate, especially during draft prep, it was all like voice memos. And every time we're talking about something or seeing him during draft prep or working with the fighters, it's like, man, this guy's smart.
Smart as hell.
Bro, this guy is smart. Being around him makes me like, dang, I wish I would have, not that I want to practice as a chiropractor, but I almost wish I would have went to chiropractic school, which would make no sense because you're going to go to school for an extra 4 years, get $100,000, $200,000 in debt to not practice it.
Yeah.
But just to go to learn and understand as much as he does. It's like, dang, this guy like understands stuff in a different way. I think it comes from, he could speak on it better than me, obviously, but having that background education and then liking to train. Like he actually lifts heavy, was a college football player at Minnesota. Like it's not like your stereotypical skinny chiropractor or like the weird ones you see on Instagram where they're just working with girls. But yeah, Dom is like the real deal.
Yeah.
Like I send my dad there. I've sent our athletes there. It's like he's the real deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, biggest takeaway was like man, this guy is smart. And really the thing I wanted to learn most, or like, and things I was asking him about, were like, what is an adjustment? Like, what's it doing? Because you hear all these different things. I can't speak for the chiropractic world, but you hear, like, in my opinion, some quacks saying they're like realigning you. It's like, you do, like, you make a noise, you make a pop, you do something that's like, I'm not giving it the credit it deserves, but you're putting your hands in a certain spot, like very specific, and create some motion.
Yeah.
And you're telling me like my bones are readjusted, like you've realigned me. That doesn't make sense with how I understand physiology. And then you start to hear like, oh, it's like the release of pressure, and like you hear this noise, and that's the air or potential fluid being released. And it's like, okay, but what's actually happening?
Yeah.
And how he explained it, and he referenced the study of it's your nervous system becoming hyper aware of that area and like allowing movement to happen now. Like there's a ton of pressure, there's no movement at the joint, the bones around the joint don't move. You create that crack, that adjustment. There's a noise. The noise doesn't really mean anything from what I understand. It's, again, just air or fluid being released. But now, since there's so much awareness in your nervous system to that spot, now you can actually train it.
Sure.
And that's how you make a long-lasting adjustment, if you will. And it was like, okay. After that, I was like, all right, I'm satisfied. We talked more about stuff with running and like foot placement, and what that, he could talk about if you're a toe-y person, like those kids, I normally see it in boys, I feel like, that are always on their toes, always walk, kind of have a bounce to them. I've even seen people have surgeries to lengthen their Achilles because they literally just walk on their toes. And he was like, yeah, a lot of them have like trauma from birth.
Yeah.
Like there's an emergency C-section, or I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. I was telling him about Acadia one time. Oh, I forget what the context was. This was during draft prep. About her, she's like allergic to a bunch of foods, or sensitive to foods. And he was like, oh, I bet she's hypermobile too. Like, yeah. He's like, oh, and I bet she's like pretty anxious as well. I'm like, bro, how do you know this? How do you? He's like, we could go down another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It's like, man, he just understands the human body really, really well. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, anytime I talk with him, it's like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great, man. He's such a nice dude. Like you were saying, very knowledgeable, very smart. And just seems like he's he's referencing studies, which you do a lot as well. You can tell he's very like proactive and continuing to learn, you know what I mean? And always, reading something or reading studies, or, like just learning about the human body and just trying to get better at his craft, you know, and what he does. And, I, with Dom, like, we trained at the same jiu-jitsu gym for a little bit, and, he still works there, or at least trains the fighters. And I remember training with Dom, we only rolled a couple times, but that dude is a beast, bro. That motherfucker is strong and athletic, quick, just really good, especially for someone that, at the same time that we were training there, like hadn't been training jiu-jitsu for even a year, and, I'd been training, I don't know, a couple of years at that point, and like, he's like clearly getting the best of me, and like, I'm like, bro, this dude is a beast, man. But just the nicest dude, one of the most knowledgeable guys in the like you're saying, he's kind of an anomaly in the chiro space because he, former athlete, obviously a competitive dude, still likes to lift heavy and train hard and do all of that stuff. And I think you kind of see that carry over to how he practices, or how he runs his practice. It was interesting to hear his thoughts on kind of what he thinks the chiropractic community can do better at, you know what I mean? In terms of, think there's a lot of chiros out there, and I could be wrong. Never been to one other than Dom, but a lot of chiros that kind of like we talked about in that video of that just like, do an adjustment and send them on their way, But Dom obviously has a much more holistic approach of, okay, sure, an adjustment is a part of what we do, but there's also a lot of, education on like movement hygiene. He talked about that, and just proper movement patterns, and, pairing the adjustment with different exercises that he thinks could be beneficial for whatever that person is dealing with. So just hearing his thought process of how he approaches like treating patients and all of that was super interesting. And, him, again, kind of like you mentioned, talking about, you can look at someone's gait and see how they walk. And, based on if they're more of a heel walker or more of like a midfoot type of like, I forget how he put it, but like military style, like just upright, or like the toey walker, as you mentioned, like, if a person walks like one of these three ways, then they're probably going to run into, or they're probably going to, deal with, these 3 or 4 things.
Yeah, injuries.
And it's just, it was just very interesting to see how he, his approach, I feel like, at least as a chiro, is very individual. You know what I mean? Like you have one person and you look at their situation in their body, and you prescribe them things individual for them, which is the exact opposite. Not the exact opposite, but the other end of the spectrum of what I do, like working with big groups. And it's rarely ever individual of, okay, like, I work with this one athlete and I'm going to build something completely individual to you. So it's just cool to get his kind of, perspective and thoughts on just kind of how he approaches treating somebody, and the different things that, he sees in the human body that, kind of like you mentioned, he's very good at, I guess looking at the body as a whole, you know what I mean? And, if you meet these conditions, or if you deal with this, this, and this, then that could stem from, something else down the chain. And yeah, it's just very interesting, and to hear his thoughts, and someone that's just so knowledgeable on that stuff, was awesome. So,
because even as he was evaluating you, he worked on your shoulder.
Yeah.
But he checked on your feet.
Yeah.
And he said something, I forget if it was on camera or not, like something I was asking him, like, what's kind of his flow chart or step by step, like evaluating an injury or an issue. And he said, I forget exactly, looking at range of motion, asking questions, and then check the feet. He's like, if I understand what's going on at the feet, it'll tell me everything. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe it. But I'm like, man, I just don't understand.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely don't understand any of that stuff either. Just being able to talk to him, and again, such a smart dude, a nice dude, a humble dude, like just very down to earth, and, was asking us questions and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, we do different things, but it's like, man, his understanding of just the human body and how things work is just interesting, and just good to spend some time with. I haven't seen him in a while, so good to spend some time with him, and just good to, similar to Zach, like good to see him. I mean, he has his own business and
killing it.
Has been doing very well, it seems, which is no surprise, because just a quality dude, and very knowledgeable at what he does. And I think, you combine those two things, just a great human being, and, very knowledgeable in what he does. I think, there's no way you're not going to be successful.
Yeah.
So good time with Dr. Dom Schultz. And then lastly, our most recent one, we went and hung out with Lucas Collison, who is strength coach at Northside High School. I've known Lucas now for, going into our 5th year now. We're the only 2 original strength coaches in the FWCS and PSM partnership. So we kind of came in at the same time, and Lucas is awesome. He's a great dude, man. He's he's funny, strong as hell, good athlete, and is very good at, I've been to Northside a few times when he has students there, like 1 or 2 times during the school day, and we go and visit each other. And actually just went there last week. He helped me him and Coach Knox, who's the guy that he works with in the weight room, helped me a lot with
The iPads?
yeah, the iPads
okay.
and Team Builder, and I was probably up there for 2 hours and just, shooting the shit with them, but also they walked me through a lot of, because I had small little questions about, especially how to get kids on uploaded into the system and how do you assign, programs to each athlete, how do you do it per class. I just wanted to see how they did it. So they were nice enough to take, a few hours out of their day to help me out, which was awesome. But that's just the type of dude Lucas is, Lucas is one of those guys I feel like, sure, I've known him now for years, but it's like, yeah, he's just like a bro. You know what I mean? Just a guy like similar to Zach.
Well, it makes sense. It goes to Renegade.
Yeah, him and Zach, I think are very similar in the sense that they just like to have fun and laid back dudes, but also, again, good at what he does, strong as hell, and he took us through like a clean and a snatch. So, what did you think of that?
I think first before we started recording, I'm like, oh, when you do the snatch, and you're like, I gotta do the snatch. I'm like, man, I gotta do the snatch. So, yeah, that was, especially because we've sat here and talked before about Olympic lifting and what we have athletes do, and do we have to do it? What's the purpose? Like, we've talked a good amount about Olympic lifting for our demographic of athletes. And then to go there, and for the first time ever in my life getting coached on snatch, we didn't do it in high school. My internship at Arizona State, we did Olympic lifting, but it's not like formal coaching.
Sure.
So it's like to actually get coached one-on-one from a competitive Olympic lifter, not just, oh yeah, I coach the Olympic lifts for my athletes. It's like, no, he competes in Olympic lifting and has, I forget what he said, close to 10 years-ish, off and on. It's like, oh, this is a whole different thing as far as he was big, because I didn't do great, whenever this video comes out, but which is good because it was fun to learn.
Yeah.
His focus on weight distribution in the foot.
Yeah.
I'm so used to like RDL, like hinge, hips back, on movements that look like that.
Sure.
And he's like, you're too much in the heels. There's no weight in your toes. Put the weight in the middle of your foot. And it's like, okay. Keeping my shoulders over the bar when practicing the snatch instead of letting my shoulders get behind the bar. Some of that stuff, some of the, I don't know, the arm stuff, that made sense. I didn't realize how close you keep the bar on your legs the whole time. I'm used to doing it, I don't know, clearly not the proper way, where yeah, it's close to me, but it gets off my thighs, and then I make contact. And with him, it was like, no, it's pretty much on you the whole time, and then there's still contact at the hips, but it's not like banging the bar.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, the level, same thing with Zach. Same thing with Lindsay, even though the rope climb wasn't like super hard, at least for us. It's like the technique of where to put your hands, how to get your feet up, what to do with the feet. If you're competing in it, you want to do it efficiently. And the level of technique that goes into the Olympic lifts, especially in my case, the snatch, is like, yeah, there was just a lot to learn.
Yeah.
It was fun. I feel like I could argue for or against the Olympic lifts for athletes. Like, I feel confident with either side. And one thing people say is like, oh, it's a sport in of itself. People practice for years to get good at it. I'm like, yeah, but track is a sport, and we have athletes sprint. And if we sat with a track coach, like a sprinting coach, the level of detail they would talk through a sprint or like ground contact, like just the cycle of a sprint, is very high level.
Sure.
And so I'm like, but you could still have athletes Olympic lift. And it's like, it made me realize like, there's probably some more detail that needs to go into it if you want to do it really well and get the carryover that you want.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. He's like I say, he's just a good time, man. He's down to earth. I feel like, he took me through the clean, which we both have, at least compared to the snatch. Like, I have a lot more experience in the clean than the snatch. But even then, like small little things, I had kind of before that decided, we talked about this previously, but the past 4 years here at Snyder, it's like, yeah, we've only done a hang clean, never pulled from the floor. But I'm like, you know what? I think this year I'm going to teach it from the floor, just to, one, give something new to the athletes, and two, I mean, it's a good challenge for me as a coach to be able to I think it's pulling from the floor is a little bit more technical than it is from the hang. So again, a good challenge for me. But that side, I had the program set up for this fall semester before we went and talked to him, and through our conversations of at least with the clean, like the different complexes that he uses and how he progresses it, like I changed what I was going to do to a lot of the stuff that he talked about that I thought made sense, because a lot of our athletes we've done, especially with the hang clean, we've done pretty much only a top-down approach, but working from bottom up, especially when you pull from the floor, I think there's a lot of benefit to doing that. So, kind of shifted my perspective on that, especially with the bottom-up stuff, like the tempo, clean deadlift, and kind of like you mentioned, one thing that I'd always understood this, but it's different kind of applying it, but keeping your shoulders over the bar, like throughout the full movement of the first and the second pull, in the clean and the snatch is like something that I think is not normal, at least for me. But just feeling those positions and seeing the emphasis he puts on like positioning, especially from the floor. It's like, yeah, if you get one thing off as you pull from the floor, like everything else after that is going to be thrown off, So it was just cool to hear his thought process behind it, and see how he progresses it, because I think he's probably, maybe not. There's some East Allen guys that are really big into weightlifting as well, but
Yeah.
in terms of how he approaches it with his athletes, like he's really big on the clean, at least, And I know he talked about teaching some of the kids the snatch as well, or some of the teams the snatch that he feels are prepared for it. But just hearing how he distributes different drills throughout the full week, and kind of how it all fits together, I think was good to hear. And I think it was good for us to tell him, like, hey man, like, bro, like, your shit, you know what I mean?
You're
like,
good at this. That's why we're here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I know he knows that, but just through our conversation, you can tell he's like, I don't know, we all kind of have our own thing that we're interested in and that we're, super detailed on. And I think his is, one of the things that he's very good at is weightlifting and teaching that stuff. And like you said, his experience with competing, doing the like weightlifting stuff is, there's a lot of value in that. So just to be able to be like, hey man, like don't question yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you are very good at this. And I think we've talked about this as well. He'd be an awesome dude to like actually sit down and like have one of these conversations with, just because, all those the other high schools in the school district that we're in outside of Snyder, all of those guys are building a strength and conditioning or athletic performance program from scratch. There's nothing established. They're responsible for building that up, which is a much more difficult situation than it is the situation that I came into. Is obviously at Snyder, there's, the last 30, 40 years, there's been some type of strength and conditioning program established. And so that brings about different challenges, but for someone like him that has been around now, both of us going into our 5th year at our high schools, he stuck it out. His first couple of years were rough, man, rough.
Yeah.
And I know he still kind of runs into some of that stuff, but at least compared to where they started to where they are now, he's done an awesome job over there to just build up the trust of the coaches, the athletes. Lucas is a very social guy, easy to talk to, and I think has done a great job of making relationships in the building with the people that make the decisions. So like admins and higher ups, like he's very good of going around just making connections and talking to people, and that serves him very well in the future. of when he needs, certain kids out of class or needs to change whatever it is that they're talking about. It's just a guy I think we can learn from a lot, and it's just awesome to spend time with him. And again, just an down to earth dude, strong dude, and very good at weightlifting and Olympic lifting and things like that. So those are the four in person that we've done, and we'll kind of see what we get after that. But I think all in all, I think we've gotten some really good, like just looking at the list of people, like a wide variety of powerlifting, CrossFit, weightlifting, and like a chiro that has a completely, kind of a different perspective from what we're used to. I think wide variety of learning experiences for us, and I mean that's kind of what we want with what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So, what you think? Anything else, man, on that? On the
it
people
just
that we
makes me excited for future ones coming.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, other than that, I think that's a pretty good update. Good thoughts on kind of the experiences that we've had recently, and I mean, man, it's been fun. It's been fun just to go around and kind of get out of our comfort zone, and kind of like you with the snatch, right? It's like, yeah, I mean, not super experienced with snatch. Same thing with like the muscle up, right? Like, I mean, shit, I've done a little bit of it, but nothing nearly as detailed as what we did with Lindsay. So it's just, we've talked about this before, but it's good just to do things that are new to us, and like I think it's normal to be uncomfortable with being like a beginner at something, especially when you're recording the shit, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like, yeah, it's a good challenge for us, and it's good for us to kind of, get uncomfortable and get out of our comfort zone and, learn something new with some good coaches, and, we'll continue to do just that, and hopefully, start traveling a little bit and learning from people around the country, and kind of see where it goes.
Yeah.
So, good recap of the last couple weeks of the summer, and as we get into the school year, we'll continue to record these and visit people in person, and continue to push this stuff out and kind of see how it goes.
Yeah.
So, thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. We got a lot of other stuff coming up that we have recorded and ready to push out. So we'll continue to post stuff like that, and just kind of see where it goes. So, sound good?